The views and opinions expressed at Enhanced Down Under are those of the hosts and do not necessarily reflect the official views of the company. Any content provided by our hosts are of their opinion and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, individual, or anyone or anything. Hello everyone, welcome to Enhanced Down Under. This is the official podcast of Enhanced NT. My name is Carol and I am a registered migration agent.
I'm Anna, a qualified education agent counselor.
So over the last 3 months, from February to April, we at Enhanced NT had our series of events, which we called Bridge to Success. And now for this episode, we are now on our finale, which we are calling Global Pathways. So maybe I should say the entire title, which is Global Pathways, Concluding Darwin's International Education Alliance Series. What a title, right? So what is the aim of Bridge to Success? I'll give my take on it, and
Sure.
then you can give your take afterwards. So it's really about connecting students, especially new students who've just arrived in Darwin. We know how hard it can be for students to settle themselves and establish themselves here in Darwin. It's hard being in a new country and you don't know anyone. So we at Enhance NT thought about this series, and we hope to do more of this in the future, so that students who are new or who have been here a few months, we can connect them to businesses so that it will complement their study experience here in Darwin. As you know, students are allowed to work 48 hours per fortnight. So by being able to speak with the Darwin's business community, they'll be able to get their foot in the door. Yeah. And now, Anna, could you please share with our audience your take on?
Bridge to Success, as mentioned by one of our partner schools, they said that it's very innovative and it's the first time that they participated in such event. It brings together not just international students but also potential employers. So we connected them with the business community, and based on the feedback that we received from the attendees, like international students and businessmen, they are happy because, as you know, here in the NT and in Darwin, there's labor shortage, and international students, they play a big role in filling the employment gap. So it was a huge opportunities for students to get to know their other partner schools, explore other educational opportunities in Darwin, and also connect with potential employers.
And just to add on that, it's also for our audience who are watching this from overseas, if they are interested in coming to Darwin
Yes.
or any part of Australia to study, they'll have an idea what the students are like here, and that you actually have support from agencies like us, because we can connect you and guide you to the proper channel.
That's true.
So we just want to give you guys a recap of what happened from February to April. So we conducted this Bridge to Success for 3 months.
Yes.
So when we started, it was in February. Our first event was with International College of Advanced Education, or ICAE, our longtime partner. So we had Brian O'Gallagher come into the office, and we shot a podcast with him. So that was very informative, and I just want to say that Brian is the ICAE Business Development Manager. So this podcast was aired on the 22nd of February 2024. So be sure to check out podcast for that day. Just look into our history and make sure you watch that, especially if you're a student interested in studying hospitality courses, cookery courses. Lots of information from that podcast with Brian.
Exactly. All right, so the next event that we had was also another podcast. It was shot, and we had one from our representative from Alana Kaye College. Her name is Megan Johnston. She is the campus manager of Alana Kaye, located here in Darwin. In that podcast, Alana Kaye gave their take or their insight about the stricter visa rules. Of course, they felt the effect because they expect less international students to be coming to Australia, and somehow it has a negative impact in the international education industry. And then also Alana Kaye always strives to anticipate the changes in migration review, and one way is by adjusting the courses that they offer. They included ELICOS, or the English Language Intensive course. And other than that, also Alana Kaye highlighted the flagship courses or programs that they have, which are focused on Certificate 3 and 4, early childcare education, and aging support, community support. So if you are someone with background in nursing, or you are looking to have a career or education in community services, Alana Kaye College is the perfect school for you.
And following our podcast with Megan of Alana Kaye, we then had the Darwin Learning Expo. We actually had exhibits from our partner schools during that week, because it was a 5-day event, because we had booths from our partner schools displayed in our function hall.
Yeah.
And we also had their merch,
Marketing materials,
their marketing,
yes.
their brochures, and free bags to give away. So and anyone who came in to our studio who inquired, we were happy to accommodate them with any inquiries they might have, and they get a Ludi bag to go along with their inquiries. And aside from the exhibits, we also had other guests from our partner schools who graced our 5-day event. So just to mention their names, we had Porak Shrestha, Business Development Manager of Canterbury Institute of Management. We had Sashim Maski, Manager of Bayside International College. And again, we also had Brian O'Gallagher, Business Development Manager from ICAE, or International College of Advanced Education. And let's not forget Miss Mcil Wills,
Yes.
the president of the Filipino-Australian Association of the Northern Territory, or FAAN. So thank you so much, Miss Mcil. I remember your very very entertaining presentation of the history of Faant and how it came about, how it was formed, really.
Yes. And it's good to know that they're all volunteers, meaning they have
She
work.
stressed
Yes.
on that,
She stressed
on that part, that they were all volunteers. They're not getting paid for it. They're not getting a salary for it. So give them a break, guys.
Yes, yes. You know, the amount of dedication that they're putting into just to make those projects work, to gather the Filipino-Australian community.
Yeah, you know, it's not an easy task. It's no easy feat at all. So I really
Exactly.
appreciated that Miss MCO talked about the history, because I never heard of it, you know, through that perspective, you know, because I mean, the only interaction I've had with Faant is, you know, when you search on Google,
Yes.
and you see their website.
Yes, yes.
That's it. But hearing the story from her, it sort of gave me more value being a Filipino Australian, and it kind of sparked. It did spark like I should care more. I should care more about my community.
Participate.
Yes, correct.
Yeah,
And
very
that's actually
encouraging.
something that I really want to share with my family and friends as well, that, you know, as Filipinos, we should support our Faant.
Yes.
'Cause-
Yes. And I think they have an upcoming event also.
Yes,
Halabira.
yes, correct. Yeah, and
this coming
so
July.
Faant, you can be sure that you have enhanced NT support in your upcoming event, and you know, I'll make sure that staff and family will be there to support you.
Precisely.
Okay, so that was Darwin Learning Expo, and after that,
Yeah, after that, we had this event in partnership with the Chamber of Commerce, and it was also supported by Charles Darwin University. They sent representatives, you know, students, being led by Miss Tasfia. We had students attended the symposium, plus also this was not going to happen if not for the support of Miss Michelle Borges of Workforce Australia. She's also from the NT Chamber of Commerce, and she was our initial point of contact. So it was again, it was an event in partnership with the Chamber of Commerce NT.
the title of that symposium was Connecting International Students with Darwin's Business Community, which is one of the biggest event we had out of all the
Yes.
series.
Yes.
So the reason why it was big, because we had the NT Chamber of Commerce come into our office, into our function hall, and conduct a symposium. It was such a just priceless speech or talk from Rohan of NT Chamber of Commerce. So he was the main speaker of that event.
Yeah.
And I just remember listening to him and thinking I would have paid for this seminar. You know, it's something like that you would see in online courses, you know.
Yes.
So it was such a treat to listen to him live and with all the other students. So good for them that we had a good turnout for that event.
It was very insightful. We received very positive feedback. One is from Skrill, which, you know, Skrill, what they do is they give platform to those
Skillaroo.
Skillaroo,
Yeah.
yeah. So they were able to, they give platform or opportunities to those students or those who have already graduated and looking for jobs without experience. So,
Right.
and also we have students who actively participated and, you know, gave their insights plus the topics that they're expecting or hoping that Enhanced NT would cover in the near future. So rest assured, we hear you. Definitely, we will address those topics that you want to hear from us. And other than that, also, it was we have another keynote speaker. Her name is Amila Gunawardana. She is a certified PTE coach and was recently recognized because of her dedication to Pearson's Tests English. During that symposium, Amila reiterated the importance of having a good PTE score if you are planning to study here in Australia or for your skilled visa application.
Yeah, and that couldn't be more important now because they've, we will talk about this more later with the migration updates, but the Department of Home Affairs have now increased the
yes.
English level
Yes.
requirement if you're going to study in Australia. So really get in touch with Amila.
Yes, you have to,
to
get someone who is really capable to help you.
to coach you. Because with any success, you really need a coach.
True.
To guide you in your success. You can't do it. You can probably do it yourself, but it will take a lot of trial and error, and it will probably
It can be costly.
and it will take longer.
Yes.
But if you find a coach to help you in your journey, then you can avoid the pitfalls and the mistakes which they already probably went through themselves. So I cannot stress enough. So actually, everyone we've invited during this Bridge to Success program are, in essence, they are coaches. Like Rohan
Mentors.
was a coach.
Oh, yes, yes.
Rohan was, in essence, he was coaching our students. Amila at the same time, and even our guests from partner schools. They all had something to contribute, and in a way, all these speakers were coaches in our event.
Very good mentors.
And that is why our event was called Bridge to Success.
Bridge to Success. Yeah, we are bridging them.
All right, we'll be right back.
Of Canterbury Institute of Management, I would like to congratulate Enhance NT for the success of your education events series Bridge to Success. Darwin's education sectors and alliance series. Keep up the good work. Thank you.
So on behalf of Alana Kaye College, we'd like to congratulate Enhance NT on completing the Bridge to Success Darwin International Education Alliance series. Well done. Keep up the great work, and thanks for all your effort.
All right, so this time we are going to recognize our partners for their participation. Number one, Canterbury Institute of Management. We awarded the certificate to Mr. Jay Nguyen, their IT and Student Support Officer. We visited their office, and it was Jay who accepted the award for us. By the way, the location of our CIM school is in Waterfront, so as you say, where the party or where the happenings are.
CIM?
CIM, yes.
Aren't they like the old building that used to be
Yes,
NT News?
yes,
So not
yes.
really at the waterfront?
Not really, but also just near the waterfront.
Okay.
So it's like a standalone building.
Yeah,
something
so
like
it's still
that.
within the CBD.
Yes. So next is Auzinet. The award was accepted by Jabbar Saleh, their trainer, and followed by Bayside International College, which was accepted by Kelvin Fernandez. He is a kitchen management instructor. And then next is we awarded the certificate to International College of Advanced Education, or ICAE, to Mr. Brian O'Gallagher. We awarded it to Brian during their graduation ceremony.
Oh, that's
Yeah. We took that opportunity. And then next is Alana Kaye College. The award was accepted by Mr. Bob Dever, their ELICOS manager. And Also, of course, during the event with Chamber of Commerce, we gave a certificate of recognition to Mr. Rohan Badenhop from Chamber of Commerce NT and Ms. Amila Gunawardana, the PTE school or the certified PTE coach. So yes, during the event with the Chamber of Commerce, at the end of it, we awarded the certificate to our two keynote speakers, Rohan and Amila Gunawardana. And with the Bayside College, it was accepted by their kitchen management instructor. By the way, he is a Filipino, and he was very flattered to accept the award on behalf of their school. And with the Canterbury Institute, with CIM, it was already the school break. It was school break has already started, but it was very fortunate that someone was there, and Jay, he graciously accepted the award.
Okay.
Yeah.
So out of all these schools that, out of all the guests that we had, most of them are based in the CBD, aren't they?
Yes.
So
yes.
the only partner schools that are not based in Darwin CBD is Ozinet. And they are located in
Winelli.
Yeah. And the other one is International College of Advanced Education.
We awarded a certificate with FAANT during the Darwin Learning Expo to Miss Emsil.
Oh, that's correct. And FAANT is located in Baton Road in Marara, Northern Territory. Yeah, so thank you so much to to all the guests who participated and collaborated with Enhance NT. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for supporting our agency. Global Pathways, concluding Darwin's International Educational Alliance Series, is back.
And now we'll have our migration update from Jairus.
The dashing Jairus. What do you have for us, my mate?
Good morning, everyone. We have crucial updates regarding visa regulations in Australia, effective from 1st of July 2024. These changes will significantly impact many current and prospective visa holders. From July 1st, 2024, individuals in Australia on temporary graduate visas, visitor visas, and maritime crew visas will no longer be able to apply for a student visa while onshore. This includes graduate visas under the 485, visitor visas under 600, 601, 602, and 651, maritime crew visas under 771, and other specific visas under 988, 995, 403, and 426. Previously, transitioning from these visas to a student visa was possible if no further stay conditions applied. Now this option will no longer be available. Affected individuals must leave Australia and apply for a student visa from abroad. Applicants transitioning from a student visa to a 485 graduate visa must now be under 35 years of age. Those 35 years or older will no longer qualify for this visa. The maximum eligible age for post-vocational education workstream applicants under the 485 post-vocational workstream will reduce to 35 years or under at the time of application. Hong Kong and British national overseas passport holders will remain eligible if they are under 50 years of age. For the post-higher education workstream, those who have completed a bachelor's degree or higher and met the Australian study requirement must also be 35 or under. For master's research or PhD holders, the age limit remains under 50 for Hong Kong and British national overseas passport holders. Alternatively, visa options should be discussed with the migration agent if you are no longer eligible. From July 1st, 2024, the temporary skilled migration income threshold, or TISMIT, will increase from 70,000 to 73,150 Australian dollars. This change ensures fair compensation for skilled migrants and aligns with the current economic landscape. From 1st of July 2024, holders of subclass visa 457, 482, and 494 will have up to 100 days at a time, or a maximum of 365 days, across the entire visa grant period to find a new sponsor if they stop working for their sponsoring employer. During this time, they can work for other employers, including in occupations not listed in their most recently approved sponsorship nomination. This ensures that visa holders can support themselves while seeking a new sponsor. Sponsors must still inform the department of any changes within 28 days. These changes underscore the importance of planning your visa strategy carefully. For assistance, consult a registered migration agent for expert guidance. Now, this is Jairo Sonsang, and stay tuned for more updates.
Thanks for that, Jairus. So what did you think, Anna, of the updates provided by Jairus?
I think the visa restrictions are getting more restricted.
Yeah.
Home Affairs is really working on implementing these restrictions, and we are expecting less international students to be coming to Australia, and it would be tougher for them, as mentioned by one of our partner schools who has been in the industry for 25 years. He said this is the most difficult and challenging times he ever experienced.
So it's not just, it's really across all the education providers in Australia. So it wasn't just our partner schools who said it. It's all across the board. So I think what this really is about is Home Affairs really want to curb or stop the permanent temporary residents, because there's a lot of theories why Home Affairs want to stop it. Some say it's about the housing crisis. And some say it's really about Home Affairs want more permanent residents. So if you look on all of this is sounding negative so far, because it seems like Home Affairs want to stop people from coming here.
Yeah, it's discouraging international students from applying.
But if you look on their side, their point of view, what they really want is more permanent residents to come to
and to
Australia.
attract genuine international students.
Yes, that's correct. So with they're calling the students and temporary visa holders permanent temporary. So it means they've been on temporary visas forever, basically. And it's not really a surprise, because a lot of people come to me, they've been on student visas for 10 years already. So it's really not a surprise that now Home Affairs have finally put their foot down and say enough is enough.
It's about time.
Yeah, we don't want students to be on student visas for 10 years. Maximum, it should just be 2 to 3 years. That's why the Australian study requirement is only 2 years. So Australia just really wants students to be on student visas for 2 to 3 years. But if you're taking a PhD, like doctorate, that could be up to 4 years. But what they want to stop is visa hopping.
Yes.
Just hopping from one temporary visa to another. So, what they want is for you to be on a temporary visa for 2 to 3 years and then apply for your PR. Straightforward as that. Yeah. But unfortunately, it's easier said than done. And, everyone's circumstances is unique, and not everyone will be able to immediately apply for their permanent residence within that time frame. And of course, Home Affairs, they recognize that, but they want to limit the people who can apply for student visa. So as Jairus has mentioned in his updates, those people on shore who are on visitor visas and student visas, they can no longer extend or apply for a student visa.
Yes, because that's when some people they come here under visitor visa, and then they would just decide later on to apply for student visa. Beginning 1st of July, I believe, it will no longer be allowed.
Yes, so that's the critical date, 1st of July. But it's not just about student visas that's affected on 1st of July. So there were other things Jairus mentioned in his updates. There's also the changes happening with 485 visas, or the graduate
visas,
visa. Yes. So the age is reduced to 35 years old. So that's beginning on 1st of July. And also there's the, in terms of work visas, the temporary skilled migration income threshold, or the TISMIT, is now increased from 70,000 to 73,500. But even with the minimum wage in Australia, nationally, it's also going to increase from 1st of July. So hopefully the visa fees will remain the same, but I doubt
Hopefully, usually they also increase at a minimal every 1st of July.
Yeah, but there's always an increase. Some visas remain the same, like some permanent skilled visas. They have remained the same in the last 2 years, I think. But partner visas, they always increase every year. So those who want to bring over their partners, spouses on a partner visa, you can be assured that it's going to increase. Okay, that's it for our migration updates. Thank you, and we'll be right back. Global Pathways is back. So this time I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you to Alana Anderson, CEO of Alana Kaye College. Thank you so much for giving us this certificate of appointment as your authorized education agent.
Yeah, that certificate of appointment was awarded to us by Mr. Bob Dever, their ELICOS manager. Bob actually was based in Gold Coast, but he flew over to Darwin campus, and we were able to meet him in person and awarded that certificate to us. Thank you so much, Bob. And also we'd like to thank their campus manager in Darwin campus, Megan Johnston.
And Alana, if you're watching, I'd really like to meet you one day. We haven't met each other, so feel free to contact me anytime so we can catch up. Thank you, and we'll be right back.
On behalf of B-Side International College, I would like to congratulate Enhanced NT for the success of your Education Expo Bridge to Success Darwin Education event series. Keep up the good work.
So the International College of Advanced Education has been delighted to participate in Enhance NT's Darwin's International Education and Event Series. Their program Bridge to Success has been fantastic. We look forward to continuing our good relationships with Enhance NT and getting more quality students from them into the future.
On behalf of Ordinate, I would like to congratulate Enhance NT for the success of your education events. Bridge to Success Darwin Education Event Series. Keep up the good work.
Global Pathways is back. For this segment, we will entertain questions from our students from partner schools. First question is from a student from Alana Kaye College.
Hi, Enhance NT. I'm taking up Certificate 3 of Individual Support and Community Diploma of Community Services, and I'm wondering what career pathways me and my classmates can have in the future after graduating.
Okay, that was a question from Sherilyn Dingal from Philippines. She is a student of Certificate 3 of Individual Support and Diploma of Community Services. Sherilyn's question was, what career pathways me and my classmates can have in the future after graduating?
So if you studied individual support and diploma of community services, this is usually in the aged care setting. So apart from aged care setting, you could also be with disability services setting. So this is usually a not-for-profit organization. So that's what you should look out for, like careers in not-for-profit organizations providing aged care or disabled care services. So in Darwin, there's lots of not-for-profit organizations. Just to name a few, and we're not connected with them in any way, but it's just off the top of my head. So there's Carpentaria, helping people achieve. There's also balance coordination support services. So what you should do is really look at the website for ACNC, that's Australian Charities. I forget what the NC is, but
just Google it.
it's ACNC and it's Australian Charities. So all the not-for-profit organizations are listed in that website. So you will see all the details about them, how to contact them, what services they provide, who they cater to, their target demographics. And I can almost guarantee 99% of the time they're looking for staff.
Wow.
Most of the time. So what I've been seeing happening is that people are usually asking around, like with people they know, which is fine, that's usually
referrals,
the case.
referrals.
You ask for referrals. But you could be proactive in your career pathway by going to that website of Australian Charities.
ACNC.
ACNC.
All right.
Hi, my name is Trung Tran, also known as Kevin. I'm from Vietnam. I'm currently studying a Certificate 4 in Kitchen Management at ICAE. So, hi, Enhanced Auntie. My question is, how can I obtain permanent residence in Australia after finishing my study? Thank you.
Okay, so the second question was from Trung Kevin Tran from Vietnam, who is studying Certificate 4 in Kitchen Management. And his question was, how can I obtain permanent residence in Australia after finishing my study? Very good question, and it's a very, very common question. So after finishing your study, in your case, kitchen management, usually you are studying to be a cook or a chef. So your career pathway should be, or your next step should be to get a skills assessment. But of course, your visa is running out because you already finished your study. So what should you do next? You should apply for a 485 graduate visa. But of course, you have to be 35 years below, 35 years of age and below. If you're over that age, you have to contact a migration agent such as myself to look for alternative visa options, because you would not qualify for the 485 visa anymore. So yeah, going back, you need to get a positive skills assessment. So that's for cook and chef. You have to go to Trades Recognition Australia, or TRA, for that. But that's just one of the steps. You should also have your English level ready, your IELTS, okay? So for cook and chef, the minimum is for IELTS 6 for each band. You need to get a 6 for each band. Okay? So, you should already have your IELTS ready anyway. don't wait until you're about to to apply for your permanent resident to get your IELTS ready. But anyway, with the new changes coming up in 1st of July, the English has to be settled already before you even apply for a student visa.
So start preparing now. So at least by the time that you needed to take the exam, your English, you're at least guaranteed, or you're for sure that you'd be able to meet that certain English level skill.
Yes. And plus, Australia is an English-speaking country. You need to have your English sorted before you come here. Otherwise, you're going to have a hard time getting your permanent residency. So yeah, after you get your positive skills assessment and your English or IELTS, PTE is all sorted out, the next step is to apply for a state nomination, which is the subclass 190. So that's the state or territory government nominated visa, and that's already permanent resident. Okay,
there's a direct pathway.
That's the answer.
All right. Okay, our third question is from Jun Liu from China. He is an ELICOS student from Alana Kaye College.
Hi, ICAE. My question is my visa expires before my course finish. So what can I do to extend the validity of my visa? Do I apply again for another student visa?
Okay, thank you, John, for your question. My visa expires before my course is finished. What can I do to extend the validity of my visa? Do I apply again for another student visa?
Yes. Next question. No, look, let's go back. The main answer is yes, you should apply for another student visa, but there are alternatives. So it depends on your circumstances, okay? If you already studying ELICOS, okay. So if you're studying ELICOS, perhaps you've already improved your English. So we need to know your English level. So you should probably take IELTS or PTE, so we know what level you're at. Okay, so if you've already reached that level required for permanent residency, maybe you don't need to reapply for student visa anymore. But if you haven't reached that, if you still need more work on your English, perhaps you didn't get a 6, perhaps you got
5.5 or 5.
That's not good enough for a permanent residency, because you need at least a 6. So in that case, if you did not reach the desired level, yes, you should probably study again and renew your student visa. But we're just talking about English now. We haven't even talked about your skills. I don't know what your skills are in your case, John. Perhaps you already have work experience from your home country in China. If you do have work experience, then you should probably get a skills assessment. But if you do not yet have work experience, then you cannot yet apply for permanent residency, because you need that skills, because how are you going to get a skills assessment?
Yes.
We don't know your skills yet. Are you good in cooking? Are you good in baking? Or are you good in hotel management or IT?
Or office management?
Yes. Whatever your skills are, we need to know what they are. And if you don't have any skills yet, then it's most likely you should probably study again. And while you're studying, you can also work.
You can
to complement your study, to gain experience. And as you gain experience, then after that, then you can apply for skills assessment. As I said earlier, when in the previous question, get a skills assessment first. That's the first thing. So I hope that answers your question. And if you would like more clarification, feel free to contact us at our Facebook page or website, enhancednt.com.au. Okay, for our fourth student, we have a question from Alana Kaye College.
Hi, Enhance NT. My question is, what are our PR pathways with regards after graduating certificate for aged care support?
So the question was from Jemwell Bagol from Philippines. Mabuhay. The question was, what are our PR pathways with regards after graduating certificate for aged care support? So you studied certificate for in aged care. So how can you become PR, basically? How do you get PR? That's everyone's question, really. How to get PR? So because you studied aged care, in order for you to obtain permanent residency, you have to find an employer in your field of study. And your employer should sponsor you or may sponsor you under the Aged Care Labor Agreement, or ACLA, Aged Care Labor Agreement. So that labor agreement provides PR pathways for people who have studied aged care.
ACLA.
Yes, the Aged Care Labor Agreement. So, but you need an employer. So
they cannot apply independently for PR?
No, you cannot. You cannot apply on your own. You definitely need an employer if you studied aged care. So it's important to know that when you're taking up this course, you should build your network while you have your student visa. You know, get out there and know who your prospect employers are. You know, you cannot just stay within yourself or just stay. You really have to go out there and network. Okay? So, hope that answers your question. Thank you, Jemwell.
All right. Our fifth question is from a student from ICAE.
How about if my student visa get refused? What are my options? Can I still continue my study? Thank you.
Thank you, Eva, for your question. By the way, Eva Angelia Rahianto from Indonesia is a certificate for in kitchen management and diploma in hospitality management student. Her question is, how about if my student visa gets refused? What are my options? Can I still continue my study?
Thank you, Eva, for that question. A refusal is really, a big blow and to any visa applicants, and it can really, lower your morale and discourage you. But have heart. It's not the end of the world. So your question is, can I still continue my study? The answer is yes, you can continue your study. But because you have been refused, you would only have 35 days left to stay unless you appeal to the AAT. So every time you have been refused a visa application in Australia, you can appeal. You have the right to apply for a review of your visa application. So I would highly recommend that if you have review rights, so not everyone has review rights, okay? You have to read the refusal letter that it says you have review rights. But sometimes visa officers forget to put that they have review rights. So
when would you know if you have review rights?
So almost all visa applications onshore in
Meaning
Australia.
lodged in Australia.
Lodged in Australia. Almost all of them have review rights. Okay. Yeah, I cannot think of any applications that don't, but typically they do. Okay, generally speaking, they do. So if it doesn't say that you have review rights, they've made a mistake. Usually, and I've seen it happen. So you should probably contact a migration agent to assist you in getting the right notification letter. And please note that you only have 21 days to lodge an appeal. So there's the time limits are really critical. If you don't lodge in time, then you lose that chance of applying for a review. It's not cheap to apply for a review. It now costs $3,374 to submit a review application. 3 years ago, it was only $1,500. So they've already doubled the fees. But I still recommend that if you have review rights and you want to continue studying, grab that opportunity. Because why do I say that? Because you can continue your studies while your review is really just waiting in the AAT. It's like, I don't want. It's not good to say it's buying time, but technically you're buying your time, okay? And how much time are you getting? So if you look at the AAT website for students, it can be up to, I don't remember the exact time frame, but it's there. It's about 3 years, 2 to 3 years
for
processing
students.
time. Yes, for students. Okay, so that would be sufficient time for you to finish your studies, and you can once you finish your studies, you can get a skills assessment after, and you can still process your permanent residency while waiting. So it's not the end of the world if you get a refusal. But of course, you have to consider other things. Do you have the financial capacity to apply for a review, to pay for your studies? So you have to think about those things. If you don't have the financial capacity, then don't apply for a review, because then you're just setting up yourself for debt.
Yes.
You'll be in a lot of debt, and so remember, you're on student visa. You should not rely on work to. I mean, you're not even on student visa. You're on bridging visa. You'll be on a bridging visa, right? And usually, bridging visas, they don't have work rights. So you have to consider. You have to consider that you don't have work rights on a bridging visa. Okay, can you work? It's possible. You have to consult me, a registered migration agent, if it's possible. In some cases, it's possible to remove the work restrictions. Okay, so it's a lot to unpack. It's a lot to unpack, but just to answer your question, yes, you can continue your study, and you have a lot of options. Okay?
That's wonderful.
Thank you for that question. For our sixth question is a student from Alana Kaye College.
While I am on a bridging visa, do you think I will be able to get work rights while my visa application is outgoing?
We have Nicolas Esnault. I hope I pronounced your last name correctly. Forgive me if I didn't pronounce it. He's from France. So his question was, while I'm on a bridging visa, do you think I will be able to get work rights while my visa application is ongoing? So your question appears to me like you don't have work rights at the moment, because he's asking if you can get work rights. So I'm assuming he may have come as a tourist,
maybe,
and then
converted
and then
to,
applied
for a student
but he's
visa.
on a bridging visa with no work rights, just like I mentioned before. So the answer is, can you get work rights while application is ongoing? Yes, but you have to apply for it. Okay, you have to apply to the Department of Home Affairs. So there is an online form. There's a web form on the Department of Home Affairs where you can apply to vary the conditions on your bridging visa. So that to vary means to change the conditions on your current bridging visa. So if your current bridging visa is no work, so then you have to apply for bridging visa A
with work.
With work. And then immigration is going to go, well, why do you need to work? You need to provide a good reason. And usually it has to be financial hardship. Can't be anything else. You have to prove that you need to work because of financial hardship. So how do you prove that? Well, you might say, well, I'm renting and I
have
eat.
bills to pay,
I have internet, I have my phone, I have my car, I have my gas. So you have to enumerate those things, and you have to put an amount, like for example, what are your weekly expenses? Because you have to convince immigration that you have a compelling, it's not just a need, you have a compelling need to work due to financial hardship. So once if you convince them, if you manage to convince them to remove the work restriction, then you get a new bridging visa A with no conditions.
Oh, that's wonderful. Like, do you have an idea how long usually it takes for the Home Affairs to
the last time I did one, look, it varies, okay? There's no definite...
Yeah, there's no time frame.
Yeah, there's no time frame. But I did one last year for a client, and it took a week.
Oh, that's not bad.
So after a week, we got a new bridging visa A for her, no conditions. But then maybe that was only for 1 week because her visa was granted after that. So then she can work already.
That's good.
Yeah, so. But you never know. Sometimes you're waiting a long time, and you're not doing anything, just waiting, and you want to work for whatever reason. Like financial hardship is a reason, okay? So, I hope that answers your question. So we're ready to move on to the next one.
All right. Our next question is from a Certificate 4 in Aging Support student from Alana Kaye College.
Hi, Enhance NT. I have a question regarding the postgraduate visa. Is it true that it's only applicable to 35 years old and below? And how about those international students who are already here in Australia, who are already 35 years old and above? What will happen to them? Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine, for your question. Her question is regarding the postgraduate visa. Is it true it's only applicable to 35 years old and below? And how about those international students who are already here in Australia and are already 35 years old and above? What will happen to them?
Thank you, Catherine, for your question and for guesting in being one of our guests in the Bridge to Success series of events. So, as Jairus mentioned in his migration updates earlier, from the 1st of July 2024, one of the changes affected is the 485 graduate visa. So the age will be reduced to 35 years old and below. So yes, if you are a student and you were going to apply for a graduate visa, but now you're 36 years old, unfortunately, you cannot apply anymore. So what will be your option? Well, there's really a couple of options for you. One option is you can further your study. That's one option. Like, for example, if you were studying aging support, typically people who study Certificate 4, when you go on to work, you usually start at the lowest level, which is a support worker. But maybe you wanna increase your chance of being promoted as a leader or a supervisor. Then it would benefit you to study further by taking up leadership courses, like diploma in leadership or advanced leadership, because those courses help you to become a good leader. So in the workplace, you would increase your chances of being
It gives you that advantage.
Correct. And I've seen this from, clients, or I'm talking to supervisors who want to sponsor support workers. And, I ask them for their CV, and I see that they've taken Diploma of Leadership in addition to age
To their
care.
Certificate 3 or 4.
Yes, correct. So that's an option, is to apply for a further student visa, so you can do further study. But that's not the only way. If you have, usually students here have been studying for 2 years, right? And normally they would have been working part-time, perhaps. Perhaps you have a good relationship with your employer, and maybe your employer sees you as an asset to their company or to their business, and perhaps they're willing to sponsor you. It could be for a temporary visa, like let's say a 482 visa or a training visa. It depends on your circumstances. It can even be for a permanent PR visa. You know, it really depends on the circumstances. You know, on what, how much obligation your sponsor is willing to take, because you know, sponsoring someone for a permanent visa is different from sponsoring someone
skilled. From 482,
and also for a temporary visa. There's different obligations for an employer. So depending on the level of obligation they are willing to take for you, then we can you can discuss what they can sponsor you for. So there's no one way and there's no one size fits all, because it depends on your level of English, depends on your number of work experience. So, but yeah, I hope I've given you an idea on what options you can have. Okay, thank you, Catherine. So that was the 7th question. So now we move on to the last question, correct? So the last question is from a student from ICAE.
Hi, Enhanced NT. My name is Shane Suraj and I'm currently studying at ICAE College. And currently I'm doing my Certificate 4 in Kitchen Management combined with Diploma in Hospitality Management. My first question for the Enhanced NT is, what are the real possibilities to change my course or university once I get enrolled in a different college? And my second question is, what is the assurance that we can get once we lodge the visa? Because ultimately government will decide our visa decisions. So what is the assurance that we can get from Enhanced NT? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. That question was from Shane Suraj Fernando Warnakula Surya from Sri Lanka. And his question was, what are the real possibilities to change my course or university once I get enrolled in a different college? What is the assurance that we can get? What is the assurance that we can get once we lodge the visa? Because ultimately, the government will decide our visa decisions. What are the assurance that we can get from Enhanced NT? This is a lot to unpack, isn't it?
A lot.
Okay, let's break it into smaller chunks. Okay.
Okay, first.
Because it's like 3 questions in one. Okay, what are the real possibilities to change your course? So he's thinking of changing his course.
Probably,
is that it?
Or maybe he's asking it on behalf of a friend.
Or maybe maybe if wanting to change to a different school.
Could be.
Okay. First, let's talk about the course. So if you're taking up a course right now, you're already enrolled in a course, and then you're thinking about, let's just give it as an example. It doesn't mean that this is his situation.
Yes.
He could be asking for a friend. So for example, kitchen management to maybe aged care. Okay. Those are very different courses, isn't it?
It's a huge jump.
Yeah, but it can happen because some students realize that
that's not
they
for
don't.
them.
Yeah, cookery is not for them, and like their passion is actually in cooking. They suddenly realize that. Technically speaking, it's the same vocational course, so you don't have to reapply for a student visa because it's still the same level. The only time you need to apply for a new student visa is if you change vocational sectors. Like, for example, from vocational to higher education. That's when you have to apply for a new student visa. Okay? But that's not the only, there's more to it, okay? Like, because his second question, no, same question, but he's talking about changing to a different college as well. Okay. So when you enroll with a provider, you have to stay with them at least 6 months. Like if you should read the fine print on your letter of offer, and it would say there that you commit to studying
at least 6 months
with them at least 6 months. So if it hasn't been 6 months, you probably will not be released by your education provider. Okay. Yeah. So is it a possibility? Yes, but you know, you have to think about 6 months. You have to stay at least 6 months.
Of tenure.
Yeah. But yeah, it's you can definitely change. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. Okay. But you know, suddenly I suddenly realized, what if that person is still waiting for a student visa? They're still on bridging visa. What happens then? Then you have to update. You have to update your visa, your student visa application, right? Because your student visa is linked to your COE.
Yes.
You know, so, and if you initially applied for cookery course,
and then you're changing it to another course.
Yeah, to another one.
Then the assessment would change. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. So you really, and you're still waiting, okay? Because it's a different scenario when you're still waiting for your student visa.
Like in his case.
Yeah. So like you need to update your COE and your statement of purpose. Because why are you changing all of a sudden? Right? You should have a really good reason it has to be a convincing reason. You know, like from cookery to aged care. Why?
That's just for example.
Yeah. But yes, it's possible. Okay. Do you think it might be it might have a negative
impact with this application?
Yes, it's possible, because this totally unrelated courses. It's totally unrelated. So yeah, it might have a negative impact if you're still waiting for your visa. Okay. But if you already have a student visa, it's already granted. Then there's no application.
As long as it's already beyond 6 months, when you already have your visa.
No negative impact if your visa has already been granted, because you know it's already finalized, your visa. You know,
that's the advantage.
Yeah. And if you're already over 6 months, your school is not going to report you anymore to Home Affairs, because you've done your 6 months. Yeah. But if it's less than 6 months, then they will report you, and your visa could get canceled. Okay. But if you're still waiting, you might want to think about it before changing courses. Okay. Okay. That's just the first question, Anna.
Yeah.
Sorry. So we have to finish this question, and you know so the second question: what is the assurance that we can get once we launch the visa? Because ultimately the government will decide our visa decisions. So what assurance? You know, we really cannot guarantee 100%. Actually, as a registered migration agent, it's against the code of conduct to guarantee that you will get a visa. So it's always 50-50, because the decision doesn't come from us. Like as the question said, it's ultimately from the government who decides. So all we can do is what's within our control. If it's approved, that's well and good. If it's refused, we can appeal. That's all we can control. We cannot control their decision.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So going back to your last question, what assurance that can you get from Enhance NT? We cannot assure 100% visa grant. Anybody who does that, any agent who does that, is you should rethink about that agent.
Yeah.
Okay. For me, I always say it's 50-50, but all we can assure you is that we will support you. You know, if you have questions, if you ask us, what can we do now? We will support you. That's the assurance we can do for you. Thank you for your question, Shane. So I would like to acknowledge all our staff for helping us make this event, Global Pathways, concluding Darwin's International Educational Alliance Series, happen. So thank you to Anna. Thank you for supporting this event. To Jairus, Eden, Ross, Claudette, Jessica, Claricel, and the creative arm of Enhance NT, DKJ studio staff, Harrison, Cameron, Cody, Haley, Kurt, Tristan, and Eden. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, we have flowers. Thank you.
Oh, it's real flowers too.
Thank you.
What a surprise. Thank you for watching Global Pathways, brought to you by Enhance NT. Enhance NT is located at DKJ Studio, which is at 590 Mitchell Street, Darwin. Our email is skills@enhancent.com.au, and you can also call us at 0879792352. Now, as I've said before, we are located in DKJ Studio, and DKJ Studio offers function hall for events and galleries, photo studio, multi-purpose room for more intimate events, setups, and gatherings. We also have shared workspace, philotropical massage, and again, we are located at 590 Mitchell Street, Darwin.
So whether you're an international student aspiring to study abroad or a professional looking to work in Australia, it is essential to seek professional advice, stay informed, and embrace the opportunities that migration brings.
Here at Enhance Down Under, we will help you choose the right path for your career goals. Up until next time.